time, we are off. Goodbye Langkawi, Malaysia. It's good to see it disappearing behind us in our wake. This is the start of the journey, man. This is what we've been working towards. We're only going west. From now on, no going backwards. West. It feels really nice, and to be leaving pretty late in the cusp of the season change and just have this awesome weather window to get across the Malacca for one last time. We've crossed this Malacca Strait like 10 times now. Like, mate, we've been here way too long. When you say that you've crossed a patch of water, double digits, it's like it's 300 miles from Langkawi to Sabang, and it's definitely time to move on. We've had a lot of hiccups. We wanted to do this passage before Tallulah was born. We were all ready, then that little time of COVID came, but since then, lots changed. We've had a daughter, sold our boat, got a new boat, done a lot of work, and it feels really nice to now be up to that stage where we're going to enjoy the fruits of our labour. Let's go, eh? Let's go. We managed to get the Hydrovane on. It was definitely the quickest install that you're ever going to see. We've been so rushed in getting ready to leave Langkawi. We're just like so busy trying to finish off jobs and just get the boat ready and get us ready to get out of there as quick as we can. We'll go to bed past midnight every night, just working the whole time. It just makes it all so sweet, and now we are finally leaving. But the Hydrovane is on. You see that it is still a little bit scooty. I couldn't come up with any other solution to centralize it through the solar panels. Speaking to Hydrovane, they say we can use it like how it is. We'll just let it free flow, so we don't have the option of locking the pin and locking the rudder off now while we're underway, but because we're motoring, we're just going dead straight, so it's just keeping itself in the center. But it's rock solid. The dinghy fits on here perfectly, so super stoked with that. But when we get over to Indo, we've organised already a welder. So our departure port from Padang is going to have to do a little bit of a modification to the solar panels. It's just the way it is. We built the panels before we put the Hydrovane on, just money basically. And yeah, so we need to shift the solar panels over just to whisk it. So we'll do that when we get to Padang. But for now, we can use the Hydrovane being a little bit scooty like this, but it's just not optimal. So when we get there to Padang, we'll shift the panels over, we can square up the Hydrovane, and then she's good for years to come. I'll put a bit of extra support in up here just to hold the top of the vane. The vane might shake around a little bit just with the wind. It's all solid, and where all the force and the load is down below here where the rudder is. Up the top here, it's just when the vane's flopping back and forth, this top area might shake around a little bit. So I'll put a couple of supports in here, mainly because I put the bracket so far down, but I did that for a reason, so we can make a little fish cutting table up. So it's definitely functional. It works to absolutely perfect, and the back of the boat here now is busy, but it is definitely functional for a cruising boat. Dinghy hoist, shit ton of solar, surfboard rack, outboard hoist, Hydrovane, made.
Excuse me, Lola. Amazing.
Wow, did you do that? That's amazing. Look at that orange scooter. That's amazing.
So cool.
Good job.
Hello.
There's a blue helmet, yes.
Yeah.
The start of this passage had lots of large logs in the water that we really didn't want to hit, so we spent the afternoon on the bow looking out and taking in the stunning sunset, heading into night number 1.
It's night number 1 at sea. It's been pretty uneventful. There is no wind, so we're motoring. I've had a few ships passing by. One I had to kind of maneuver to dodge, and then there's just another little runabout boat out here, probably just a fishing boat that's zigzagging all over the place. That's kind of annoying, but other than that, it's been pretty uneventful.
It is like a lake out here. I knew it was going to be calm, and it's definitely remained that way. My gosh. So we've just been crossing the shipping lane since about 1 AM, so feeling a little bit tired. We've been zigging and zagging around a little bit, dodging and weaving. There's this offshore platform out to port here. Previously we've been a little bit further north of our position, but from this platform going in towards the land of Sumatra, you know, it's prohibited area for vessels, so the shipping lane has to go around this platform. So I figure that's why we're in the shipping lane now. If we get on the inside of the platform, then the shipping lane is going to be on the outside of us the whole way, and we can do the last 100 miles on the inside of the shipping lane. That makes sense. So we shouldn't have to dodge any more ships. Please?
Please.
Well, there goes my theory of just go around the oil platform and we shouldn't have to deal with any more ships. Mate, that no-go zone, that's the bloody shipping channel. Let's get in closer to Sumatra and do this shipping lane in the daylight hours.
Marley will be checked over by quarantine once we reach Sabang, so it's time to get him spruced up for the officers.
Doesn't get much more welcome back to Indo than having a fisho charge at you. Love it. Wonder if they're gonna say hi. Love it, eh? Big old wave.
We're heading into night number 2 at sea. The beauty of sailing west is you will always be sailing into the sunset, and this evening didn't disappoint with the sky painted pink and orange. The weather is still calm, but as we approach land, we now also have the fishing boats to navigate through the night. Is that a mooring?
Yeah.
I'm gonna tie it up. Gnarly. Just in the shipping lane.
On our final approach now, we should arrive about 9 AM. This is the first passage, I think, that we've ever done where we have just motored the whole way. 300 miles, non-stop, averaging 6 knots, 150 miles a day. Here we are, the last final approach, straight into this rain squall. First 300 miles down. Let's go make clearance and see how far we can move on today. What an absolute terrible way to end the trip. Dolphins looked amazing and I thought, oh man, what a great opportunity. It's nice and calm, I'll film the dolphins with the drone. The drone went up, said you're in authorization zone, and didn't return to home and instantly landed straight into the water. Brand new drone, it's a good way to just ruin $2,000. God, we can't afford to buy a new one. We're in Indo. Can't even get one if we could afford to buy one. So please excuse our videos coming up because there's going to be no drone footage. So disappointed.
Well, here we are in Indonesia. We're in Sabang. It was roughly 300 nautical miles and took us roughly 48 hours. There really wasn't a lot of wind happening on that passage, so we did a lot of motoring and burnt about 150 litres. So it was good to test the boat out and use everything. All of the systems are working. I will say though that the fresh water pump is on its last legs. It's still working, but it's starting to just really slow down. So we've got a spare water pump, but other than that, all the systems have been working, so it was a good little shakedown sail for the big sails ahead. Now, we've cleared in already. We had all the officers through the boat today. They're all really lovely here, but they are also very thorough. They do inspect the boat quite a lot, and your medicine and all of that stuff. So yeah, that's done and over. What else? We're just trying to sort out internet, because in Indonesia, if you're a foreigner and you come in with an international phone, then it's not going to work here with their SIM cards. So you have to register it and then import it and pay the tax on your phone. Or another option is to buy like a cheap phone here. I think we're gonna buy like a cheap $100 phone here and then use their SIM card that way, because Starlink's expensive and it's only meant for at sea. Josh has just got some more fuel to fill the tanks up. We have roughly 600 nautical miles to sail down to Padang, and we need to get there roughly by the end of this month, so in roughly 16 days time. But for now, we just need to wait for this rain to clear so we can go in and grab our passports and our documents back, and I think we're going to be setting sail first thing tomorrow morning. So. Oh. The anchorage here in Sabang is terrible. It's got really bad holding and it's right out the front of town, so there's no privacy or anything here. So we've just decided to like move the boat tonight to another anchorage. We actually decided that this afternoon, and we've gone to start the engine and it's just not starting. Yeah, it's been a few hours of just trying different things. One thing we did find is that the fuel filters were filthily clogged, so hopefully it was just the fuel supply and that was the issue, because I hate this and I hate this feeling. And I thought all these problems were over. We motored for 48 hours straight the last 2 days, and when we got here, Yosh and I were singing the engine's praises, and big mistake, don't ever say anything nice about your boat.
This part of the world is known to have powerful squalls in the early hours of the morning, and we didn't feel comfortable staying here overnight. After unsuccessfully attempting to get the motor going, at 11 p.m. we moved the boat to another bay with better protection and holding, using the dinghy tied to the side of the boat. It was a long night after a passage, but at least we'll sleep comfortably.
Yeah, she looks pretty sweaty in there.
Right, it's just bewildering why you can run for 2 days straight and then now it doesn't start. So it sort of suggests that our DC charger, because we charge not from the alternator charges the house bank, but the house bank then DC charges the starter batteries. The starter batteries are fine, they got plenty of voltage. There's no voltage drop, they don't drop below 12 when you try to start it. But the voltage at the starter motor itself drops down to below 10 volts, so that's not enough to crank it. That's why it sounds flat. But like, I've cleaned the terminals at the starter. Terminals at the battery are fine. They go through a buzz bar, so I've just clopped that off. Maybe I have to clean that. I look at the switch. There's a voltage drop basically. There's not the power getting to the starter.
Yeah.
That's leaving the batteries. Good news is the batteries are fine.
Yeah. We're in Sabang, which is a pretty difficult place to like get parts, get anything fixed, have a mechanic, any of that stuff. So yeah, we really want this to be a easy fix. Still at it?
Yeah, well, through my bamboozledness, like I just couldn't figure out why it just wouldn't crank, because there was enough voltage everywhere. Yeah, like I've gone through all the batteries are fine, they have plenty of voltage, the current's not dropping. I've checked the batteries and you know, like they've still got plenty of voltage, there's plenty of charge of them. Even when it's cranking, they're only going down to like 12 volts, so like there's definitely plenty of power. The batteries are fine, the little circle on the top, black, white, green, is green saying the battery's still good, so like the batteries are fine. There's plenty of voltage going through, there's still plenty of voltage to the starter motor. And then that's when it sort of dawned on me I need to speak to my stepdad, who's an auto electrician, and he pretty much confirmed that, yeah, the starter motor is probably toast, mate. And on OG Nandji, we always carried a spare starter and a spare alternator. And before we left Langkawi, Benita said, we don't have a spare starter, do we need to get one? And I said, nah, we'll get one down the track. She'll be right, mate. And here we are with, yeah, the starter motor's definitely the issue. Yeah. Spoke to the agent here though, he said that there's a starter motor guy, or he reckons he can fix the starter motor anyway, so we'll pull it out. We've got new ones getting ordered in Australia to be sent to our crew member to carry them over, but that's no good for us now.
What we need is this to get us
what
to
we need is
Padang.
to get this to get us another 700 miles down to Padang, where we need to be in 3 weeks' time, 2.5 weeks time. But firstly, what I need to do is get this bloody starter motor out and take it to the starter motor repair guy in an hour and a half's time. Of course, it's like tucked back in and under the motor. Like, oh, it's the hardest thing to get off the engine. Yeah.
There she is.
Oh.
It's not that big. Oh my god, look how old it is.
That's definitely the original there.
Really? It looks like it's corroded.
How you get in and out of there. Like, whenever that motor went in, that starter went in, and that's where it stayed.
You ready? Nothing?
Yeah, the boys! There we go! So just got the starter motor back from the mechanic guy. I've installed it and it's all working. So all it was a little bit of connection issues inside the solenoid. So really old mate just pulled it apart and cleaned up the solenoid and put it back in. So hindsight's a wonderful thing. I could have done that myself. I thought it was the motor on the motor side of things, but anyway, it doesn't matter. Starter motor is working again. It turns over the engine. So let's get Nandji 2's anchor up. Let's get this journey going south. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe to the channel. It was such a big adventure ahead. This is just the beginning. All these little issues are just little teething problems. If you enjoy the videos, think about becoming a Patreon to support the channel. We've got a lot of miles ahead of us. We want to make a lot of videos and share this next chapter of our lives with everyone, and we do that through the support of you guys, of our viewers and our Patreon family. So there is a link at the end of the video. Be sure to click that and go check out our Patreon page. Thanks, team.
Motor's working, so we've just come down to the beach here just to give Miley a quick run and stretch his legs before we get going. We've got to get to the cut, and then we'll pass that tomorrow morning. So yeah. I brought Miley here yesterday and he went off wandering, exploring the island while me and Tallulah were swimming. And then he came back, I put him in the dinghy, and as we were leaving I was like, it smells around here, it smells really bad. I was just checking to make sure if there was like a river outlet or something that I wasn't aware of where it might have been dirty, and then I realized it was Miley that stank, and so he must have found some disgusting rubbish or bin bag and was just covered, and he stank so bad. And then I got him back to the boat. Of course he jumps straight up and tries to go downstairs, so I had to like grab him and then give him a big wash, and he smells a lot better now. But yeah, that was rough. Another wash.
Well, that was a bloody stressful few days that we didn't need. Let's get out of here. We have 600 nautical miles to sail to the departure port of Indonesia before heading across to South Africa. A massive thank you to our amazing patrons. These videos are made possible by you. Keep the froth. Let's go. You!